Hi, Bill here. I wanted to talk about something Lyme disease related and maybe get everyone else's input and their experiences on this. I want to talk about it's what I would term sensory overload, I guess you could call it. It's something I think neurologically that goes on to a lot of us that are struggling with Lyme disease and co-infections, and I guess you could say it manifests in different ways. There's times where I've been in a certain situation where there's a lot of people, a lot of kind of activity going on all around me, whether it's out in a church setting or in a restaurant or in a store, and something weird happens. It'll just kind of overwhelm me, and if my mouth screams because I'm drinking my green juice here for breakfast and taking my pills. Um, so what will happen is I'll just be in whatever situation, and all of a sudden, it's hard to describe. It's sort of like a feeling of overwhelmment, I guess you could call it. And I'll just have to kind of look down and kind of look away from it all and look at the floor, or close my eyes and until it passes. And it'll happen to me sometimes when I'm driving too, with all the sensory input going on with different things, to where I'll kind of get overwhelmed with the sensations of everything coming at you visually and audibly in different situations like that. And I've also had the really bad light sensitivity, and I don't get the sound sensitivity as much as some people do. Every once in a while, I'll be, listening to something, say it's a podcast with a lot of voices going on. I might get sort of overwhelmed by that. Or if I'm watching something every once in a while, I might get just my brain just kind of gets overwhelmed by it, and I kind of have to turn it off. I don't get so much the noise sensitivity. I can listen to loud music sometimes and it doesn't bother me, and then other times it doesn't necessarily have to be music. It can be something else that will start bothering me. And so the reason I started talking about this is that this morning I wake up to the sound of belt sanders running up and down the outside of my building. Um, Sorry, I gotta get these pills down with my breakfast. So, um, it caused it to happen. The noise and vibration of these belt sanders running up and down the outside of the building, they are preparing to stain the apartment building that I live in. In the last 2 or 3 days, they've been sanding and power washing the outside, preparing it. And they started at about 8 o'clock this morning. Now, it was one of those nights where it was, I don't know, somewhere between 1 or 2 o'clock when I finally settled down and got to sleep after taking lots of herbs and different stuff that I take to sleep. I think I did a video on that. So it was a little bit of a rude awakening for me these days. I'm not a morning person at all. You've seen, I've showed you in some other videos how rough my mornings are, and this was one of them. And then that just compounded things, having that sensory overload of the sanders running up and down the sides of the building, making noise and then vibrating, and I had to put my Jaybird earbuds in and try to block it out by listening to some podcasts and stuff for a while. They've finally taken a little bit of a break, so I figured I would record this, and I just wanted to get everyone else's experiences with this sort of thing, how you deal with it, if there's anything that you can take to help out with it. I know I keep telling you I'm going to tell you everything I'm taking. I am taking some things that are supposed to help with the light sensitivity, and it seems like it has gotten better in the last few weeks with some of the stuff I'm taking for that, the lion's mane, the motherwort, and some other stuff. But I don't know if some of the herbal stuff that I'm taking for the Lyme symptoms has had much effect on this what I call sensory overload. I don't know what else to call it. It can, like I said, it can happen in different forms and at different times, and it can come on with no warning, and then it's just difficult to try to get through. So I was wondering how everybody else deals with that, how you cope with that, and what your experiences are. Just I wanted to get your input on that. So thanks very much for watching, and for your comments below. You can just comment below on your thoughts on this. Thanks. Okay, there's the Sanders going. I just wanted to put a little clip on with that. That's what has been going on here for about the last 3 hours this morning. They took, I guess, their morning break for a little bit, and I was able to record that clip before they started back up again. But there's one of them going right now. I don't know how well the microphone's picking that up, but and to top it off, they play some rap music along with it. So anyhow, it's all good. Just one of those things we have to deal with. Okay, now there's 2 of them going. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it's not bothering me as much as it did earlier when I first woke up. My sensory overload went into overdrive, I guess you could say, and I'm getting a little bit used to it here now. So it's just one of those things, how it can come and go. How sometimes it's overwhelming, and then other times it's not as big a deal. So just please comment below on your thoughts on sensory overload.